Hello everyone and welcome to a second royal reading today here at MadWorldTarot, Wednesday evening as I'm doing this with still the Venetian Tarot on the tarot table with my Machiavellian Tarot, and I do love this little tarot deck, and it reads well on these kind of cloak and daggery stories, such as the one I'm doing now about the IPP status. I want to know what all the fuss is about with the IPP status. Now, very obviously, if Harry and Meghan get their IPP status back, which is kind of in the background of this court case, it's not what they're talking about directly, but it's kind of implied as far as I can understand. Lost my train of thought. We're going to ask what the fuss is about this IPP status. Very obviously, it's about money, first and foremost. If they get their IPP status back, they get free security wherever they go, paid for by the taxpayers of the countries that they visit. So, United States would have to pay for them, Canada, Colombia, Nigeria, Lesotho, wherever they go, Ghana, as they were threatening to do at one stage. All of those countries are liable to protect them at their own cost or their taxpayers' cost, free. So no more having to pay for bodyguards and bankrupt themselves. They get free security. They're very obvious. But there are speculations that they might also want this IPP stuff for other reasons. For instance, access to information. They keep banging on about we need access to information. And so people are wondering, why do they want access to information? And because everybody's got their tinfoil hat on right now with Harry and Meghan, there's speculation, for instance, that they might use it they might sell it or give it to someone who isn't a friend of, say, the UK or the USA. The Russians, for instance. I'm just speculating wildly here. They do have connections with Russians because they've stayed twice in Russian oligarchs' homes for free. Oh no, they bought one. They stayed for free in one. They bought the other at a very discounted price, did they not? So there is a speculation that they could be up to no good with this information if they got their hands on it. Maybe even just use it for, I don't know, Travelist, to help with that. It seems like a non-starter, but maybe he has useful country information or contacts in countries or stuff like that. I'm sure it's very useful information. Just saying. And so I want to know also in this reading how the UK government feels about Harry getting his IPP status back, and Meghan, and what that would entail, and then will they? So that's where we're heading. They did, of course, have IPP status as working royals. They lost it when they chose to step down and exit, and it was while they were in Canada that it was officially removed, and they suddenly had to pay for bodyguards, not get the Royal Mounties looking after them. Oh no, they had to rush away from Canada. It was far too dangerous in Canada, Vancouver on that lovely island, far, far away from everyone. Not a security threat at all while they were there, I don't think, although they put a giant wall around themselves, as I can recall, if I can recall. And no, we had to go to California, much safer in California, and stay at Tyler Perry's house with his security. And there we have the Three of Pentacles teamwork card. And we have to remind you that it's tarot for entertainment purposes, or my opinion, just reading energy, and disclaimer in the box below. So, working together. Isn't it interesting in this working together card that we have someone reading a scroll, information that this person is gaining by working with other people. It could be a scroll of instructions. That's what normally is going on in the Three of Pentacles, but it could just be juicy information. The Three of Pentacles is very interesting as our underlying energy because it means that teams are working together, say the UK security people, Harry and Meghan's bodyguards, or their own security, other states and their security people, all talking to each other, all sharing information, which we know they do. That is the Three of Pentacles for me, my opinion. Underlying energy sits under everything else. So that is all about the information. It's telling me the contacts, the sources, the resources. Situation we're dealing with this IPP status. And we got the Chariot card here. It's a big travel card, the Chariot, which I often don't say because it comes across differently in these royal readings mostly. But it's very much about travel, and it's very much about ambition. So we have a desire to travel, plus ambition to be powerful. It's political ambition, the Chariot, very much, along with just general sort of willpower and wanting to get your own way and do things your own way. So it's quite a dangerous card in this situation if they are up to no good with their information that they could access. If they got the status back, because it tells me that it would be used to travel, to meet with who knows what, but to further an agenda. I'm going to say their own agenda because my tinfoil hat is only half on, I have to say. I do own one, it's only half on. So their own agenda, their own desire for success and money and status. Right, so generally, I just want to know in general what this IPP stuff is about for them, for Harry and Meghan. What just generally is it about? And I've got the Ten of Swords. It's very much about them feeling utterly betrayed and defeated and ruined when they had it stripped from them. Couldn't believe it. And they still bang on about it and still want apologies for things like this. I don't think they saw it coming. I do think that they were warned, that the royals told them if they exited, there would be consequences. They couldn't do half in, half out. They would lose certain perks of being royals, and the security was one of them. Because IPP, to qualify, just by the way, I forgot to tell you this, to qualify for this particular status, you have to be a head of state or and such like, or a family member of the head of state. Harry and Meghan qualified, or you can be a representative of some sort of international organization which is governmental in nature. Now they aren't that. They've got Archewell and whatever, but those aren't governmental in nature. So it was all to do with being family members of head of state that they qualified for this. But I guess that you've got to be a family member of the head of state doing head of state business, not grifting, shall we say. So it was a devastating blow for them when they lost it, because it was, now I'm really the spare. No one cares what happens to me. They don't care if I die, if I'm murdered in the streets. They don't love me, and they don't want to protect me, and they've driven me out, and it's all terrible, and it's a dark night of the soul, and will I ever recover from this calamity? Okay, so that's in general. You get the picture. It's a very emotional scenario that I'm painting there, of betrayal and ruin and heartlessness. So let's get to the money aspect of this. How vital is it for them to have IPP status so that they don't have to pay their security guards anymore? What does universe want to tell us? Oh, High Priestess. Yeah, it's a very secretive energy, this High Priestess, a very hidden, whatever is up to. It's not a money card. It's not a money card at all. But it's quite, for me, in these readings, it's quite manipulative and sort of, listen to me now, suggestible energy that needs to be, that the High Priestess needs to be listened to about this, and her silent communication, her silent instructions that she's sending out. This needs to happen. A kind of manifesting energy, almost. As I say, I'm not getting that they're broke, that they can't afford to pay for these people. It's more about almost what the High Priestess feels she's entitled to. So it's kind of weird energy that's coming off that card. It's spooking me, I have to tell you that. So how about this information being useful Useful maybe to Harry and Meghan for their travels, their 4 royal tours for Travelist, for whatever else, Better Up. Who knows? It could be very useful to an organisation like Better Up, or the Russians, or whoever else. Of course, I'm being a bit facetious here. I'm allowed to because it's tarot and it's for fun and entertainment. Tell us about that. Anything dodgy going on here? I've got the 7 of Pentacles. That's a money card now. I didn't get money over there. I got more sort of mystery and subtle energy and manipulation, sort of an energy level. This, I'm getting a money card. 7 of Pentacles is harvest time. Your stock, taking stock, but also materially, stock in trade. It's valuable, this information. It's super valuable. They've had 7 years of not having, or not quite 7 years, that's an exaggeration, 5 years of not having access to that information. That must have cost them something, according to these cards. And this is an energy reading and blah, blah, my opinion. But I'm getting money, I'm getting it's valuable, highly valuable to them. So what does the UK government think about Harry and Meghan getting their hands on this information, getting IPP status back? Are they like, oh yeah, that's fine, of course, sure, or never? Where are they on this? What do they think? The Sun in reverse, it would be terrible. It's terrible, terrible. What the Sun does when it's in reverse is we get shade. So I think it's a bit shady. That's my opinion. Definitely is not something they feel positive about at all. They feel very negative about it. It's like, no, because we wouldn't know what they were doing with it. Sun upright, you see everything clearly. When the sun's beating down on you, you see everything. In reverse, gets dark, it gets confusing. You don't see everything. They don't trust them. That is my opinion. Just my opinion. Will they get their IPP status back? Will the court be so swayed by the drama that happened today, which I've read on previously today, that they take pity on Harry and immediately announce he gets his IPP status back, fully funded security, wherever he is, whenever he is, or at the expense of the beaten down taxpayer? Will they get it back? And it looks like a no. I have the Knave of Wands, which is kind of the Knight of Wands. And I just don't think so, not with that. That's bad news in reverse like that. It's not the Knight, it's the Page, sorry. The Knave of Wands. Sorry. The Knave of Wands is a messenger, is news. And it's bad news for Harry. Bad news. Quite simple, really. Little messenger, little scroll, like the court might send. And nope, no, not for you, nope. That's how it's reading for me. Sorry about the bit of a muddle over these cards. But we got there in the end. And as I say, up there knows far better about what's going on than I do down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.